Cartel violence is ramping up in Mexico after a cartel leader by the name of El Mencho was captured and eliminated. Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the explosion of cartel violence in Mexico after a cartel leader by the name of El Mencho was captured and eliminated. Now, violence is not abnormal in Mexico. However, what's happening right now could endanger you if you want to go visit as a tourist. And of course, if you are a Mexican citizen, it could be dangerous to you. Now, am I saying the entire country's on fire and everything's going to come to an end? No, I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that there are some issues. I mean, these guys have been hitting areas near airports and some of the resorts and things of this nature. Now, I've not heard about any tourists being harmed, but tourists have been harmed in years past. Hopefully that doesn't happen. And hopefully the Mexican people are going to be generally safe from this, but it doesn't look too good on the ground right now. They're mad about El Mencho being captured and eliminated, so they're retaliating. Now, before I go any further, let's get into a few clips. First, we're going to show some news. Then we're going to show some more about the politics behind this. And of course, I will link to everything in the description box if you want to see it and hear it without my commentary. If you're on IG, Facebook, etc., visit the link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Tonight, those stunning scenes of destruction across Mexico. Buildings and cars lit on fire in a wave of drug cartel violence. Stores sprayed with bullets, including in Puerto Vallarta, a resort popular with Americans. That white SUV in flames is Yoni Pizer's rental car, taken, he says, by cartel members.
He approached the car, pointed his gun at my head and said in Spanish, yelling, "Get out of the car, get out of the car."
He says the cartel members appear to want the vehicle as a roadblock. The cartel's unleashing violence after Mexican special forces killed notorious drug boss Nemesio Ruben Osuguera Cervantes, also known as El Mencho, who ran the Jalisco New Generation cartel. And tonight, Mexican officials revealing they learned El Mencho's location by tracking one of his mistresses. The U.S. also provided intelligence for the operation, according to the White House. At least 25 Mexican soldiers were killed. Just yesterday, this was the alarming scene in Guadalajara airport. Panicked passengers scrambling with their luggage. Telemundo's Julio Vaquero is there tonight.
Today, the Guadalajara International Airport is slowly going back to normal. You can see operations coming back. However, you can also feel the tension hanging in the silence.
American tourist Adrian Moorfield, like so many others, eager to get home.
The uncertainty of when all of this is going to clear up, it makes you question when we're going to be able to make it home to our loved ones safely.
Today, Mexico's president urging calm, but the U.S. State Department warns flights are still being disrupted and asks American tourists in areas that saw some of the worst of the unrest to continue to shelter in place. Tom?
George Solis for us. George, thank you. We thank you.
Hey, man, that's rough. Shout out to all the tourists out there. Hopefully you guys are safe. But if you plan on going to Mexico, you want to take a little vacation, you might want to check, call your State Department, call somebody, be like, hey, is the coast clear? Can I go? Can I not go? Should I stay home? Because it could be a little dicey. You saw the tourist in the beginning. He probably was in no real danger of being harmed, but hey, he could have been. Anytime somebody got a gun in your face and they're telling you to get out and they're kind of aggressive and they're part of a cartel, hey man, one slip of the finger is a wrap for you. Now, let's keep going here. We got a little bit more to get into. Okay, now let's talk about that whole thing with the mistress. Did you hear that at the beginning? They helped capture him. Okay, now look, it says cartel leader's romantic partner helped lead to his capture, Mexican officials say. And it says authorities used the location of a woman who was with Nemesio Ruben or Osuguera Cervantes, the drug kingpin known as El Mencho, to find him. Okay, so I don't know what happened. Maybe they're checking the phone. Maybe she has some kind of tracker on her. I don't know what it is, but hey, man. With these women, please be careful. Hey, just in general. Okay, I'm not trying to say to the cartel guy you should have been careful. I mean, it is what it is, but hey, be careful in general. All right, now let's look at what's happening right here. Now, this is going to be about some of the politics behind this, because what some people say is that the president, Ms. Sheinbaum of Mexico, they say she's a cartel president. She works with the cartels. That's what they say. Now, I don't know if that's true or false. I'm just telling you what is being said. And there's going to be a senator, I believe, Mexico, who's going to break some of that stuff down. Let's check it out.
The president of Mexico is furious. She's calling Mexican Senator Lili Tellez a traitor for coming on Fox Noticias with me a few days ago and saying this. Listen.
The help from the United States to fight the cartels in Mexico is absolutely welcome, and that is how the majority of Mexicans feel. The only ones who don't like that President Trump is sending help and trying to support Mexicans against the cartels are the narco politicians. That includes President Sheinbaum.
Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum responding, saying, quote, "It's not a minor issue that a senator gave an interview to a foreign media outlet calling for intervention." Here to discuss is that Mexican Senator Lili Tellez. Senator Tellez, welcome to Fox Noticias. I'm just going to get right to it. Is Mexico a narco state?
Now, the question is kind of a rhetorical question, in my humble opinion, but let's see what the answer is.
Yes, it is. And we all Mexicans know about it. And Mexicans are afraid of the alliance between the Mexican government and the cartels that have infested our nation.
Can you explain this alliance between the president, her party, the Morena party, and the cartels?
Yes, the party has financed, has given, the cartels have given so much money to these politicians, narco politicians of Morena, to get into office, to get the power. So they protect the Mexican government protects the cartels. That is why President Sheinbaum doesn't want the strong American leadership to help Mexico defeat the cartels.
Let's pause for a second. And I'm sorry for the pausing, but I got to just intervene a little bit here. Now, this is believable as far as Ms. Sheinbaum, the president of Mexico, being linked with the cartels, because I was covering when she was getting elected, and during her time, when she was running, a lot of her opposition just got straight up eliminated. I'm talking about put in the dirt, 6 feet deep. Okay. So if you got, I don't know how many people it was that were killed by the cartel who were trying to run. It was a lot though. So why all of them, but not her?
And also, Sheinbaum doesn't want the rest of the world to know what is happening here in Mexico. We are on the steps to be the next Venezuela. She is aligned with Venezuela's dictator, with Cuba, and we are losing our country. They have destroyed our Republican institutions, the democratic state, and we must I think we all Mexicans want and welcome the support of the United States to assist Mexican people against the cartels that have us all in this crisis with the traffic in fentanyl and migrants.
So her response to this, and I know this because her spokesperson came on our show in response to your interview, and they say, well, we just turned over 26 cartel members. We're working, we're sharing intelligence. What are they not doing? And why is she so resistant? She sort of speaks out of two sides of her mouth. We're working with you, Trump. And then she's chastising you for saying we need more help from the United States to crush the cartels.
Because she really doesn't want the help of the United States. She is lying to Mexican people, telling Mexican people that the United States will get in control of the whole country. Right. I never listened such nonsense from President Trump. What we have listened is that President Trump wants to help Mexican people against the cartels. Mexican people are suffering. So what they do is very, very little. We have huge narco politicians here in the Senate, in the presidents, governors. Mexico is a very dangerous place.
Well, that brings me to my next question, because you are speaking very bluntly, very clearly about Mexico being a narco state and the alliance and the connections to the president of Mexico. Are you afraid for your life?
That's a really good question. I was wondering the same thing. It's like, you're going to say all of that on camera, knowing how the cartels do, hey, you get in the way, it's a wrap. So that's a very good question. Let's see the answer.
Yes, I am afraid. And the president has threatened me to proceed against me with criminal prosecution, to get me out of the Senate and get me in jail just because I told you in this space and Fox News what is the reality of our country with the cartels. The cartels are dominating everything here in Mexico. They are in all the offices of the government, in the states, in the cities, and in the national government.
Now I'm gonna pause right there. I'm gonna leave the rest of that in the box so you can see it. But I want you to see what we're talking about as far as these cartels. Okay, I want you to see, like, this right here is an example of what I'm talking about with the cartels. All right, this ain't just guys with guitars and rifles. No, these are like basically mercenaries. Check it out.
Pinche 20, a ver si muy verga te topas con nosotros. Ahí tengo desamarrados los perros, culero. Y así voy a andar patrullando. Pues tu puta madre.
Órale, vente, hijo de tu puta madre. Aplícale a la verga. Aplícale a toro, perro.
Tu puta madre. Vas a pegar toda la verga, culero.
Gente inocente, sí, eres bien verga.
Now, sorry for the language. I did hear a little bit of that in Spanish. Sorry for the language. But here is a little bit more. And this is from the cartel where El Mencho was a leader. Yeah, so you can see what's going on. It's pretty serious. You know, it's not a game at all. It's not a game at all. These guys are deadly serious. Paramilitary, mercenaries. You basically an army. That's what you're dealing with right here. All right, got them 4 F-150s. Hey, shout out to the F-150. You know, I don't mean to make jokes, but, you know, I couldn't help but notice the emblem right there. But that's what's going on out there in Mexico. And again, if you guys are tourists and you want to go visit, I would think twice. Really, as I close, I want to say this. Right now, I would not go to Mexico just because of the instability. I don't think the cartel is really trying to target tourists like that because they know where the money come from. They like, if you go there as a tourist and you're not on nothing political and you just having a good time, you should be okay. But I can't say that you would be. If it's me and I'm talking like this and I'm a regular tourist, I'm not going there. So that's just what I would do. I don't know what you're going to do, but I'll most certainly think twice. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your opinion about what's happening in Mexico with the cartel violence? Is this normal? Is this per usual? Okay, we're going to have violence because that's what the cartels do. Or is it elevated more than normal, more than it, I guess, should be, quote unquote? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. I am not going to Mexico. Hopefully people in Mexico are safe. Hopefully tourists are safe. And everything gets back to some sense of normalcy because I don't want to see anyone get hurt. Nobody innocent. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.